Hello all and welcome to another video by the stuntydm. I am he. This video I'm going to show you a few macros that I have recently partly developed for 5th edition D&D. This is to show a couple of features and how they work, and it's just so you can see them in action and you can get an idea of what these macros do, how the setup looks like, and see if they seem interesting. Yeah, so first things first, the modules that I use for these macros are my usual ones. So I use 𝐒𝐿, item macro, and warp gate. Those are the three big modules you'll probably end up using. Oh, and dynamic actor effects. Those four modules are the big ones that you'll use. They're designed to kind of work in conjunction with all this stuff. So what I'm going to do first of all, I'm going to show you a Paladin. I've done a variation of Divine Smite and also a variation on Lay on Hands. So let me show that first of all. So I'll pop it open for you, see how it all looks. Here's the details tab, so you can see what it all looks like. As you can see, one target, creature, touch, healing. This is blank and healing set there. And then for MIDI users, you know, the on use macro, I've got item macro and before damage. I'll show you the macro here. It is in here. These will all be linked below in the description, so you'll be able to see the macro itself rather than trying to read what I've done. But that's literally all it does. It runs. So let's see it in action. So what I do, we will lay on hands. You see, posted the chat, and I get this option. So heal or cleanse. So I want to heal on this one. It tells me that he has a lot of options available, a little bit over. Who you're healing and how many hit points they need to get to full. I can pop here, so I'm only going to, let's do 25, be conservative, click done. Then all you do is click. Okay, so we click on that and then we click healing, and you can see heals. MIDI then picks up the fact she's been healed and automatically updates it for her. She's now had 20 points of healing from his lay on hands, and that's literally how that works. It's quite simple. Cleanse is similar. So let's say instead it wants to cleanse, it asks you how many effects you want to remove, and let's say 2. And you can see here that it says here it's to cleanse of 2 poisons, and it'll have removed from his attributes 20 points. That's that. Quite straightforward. Next one, Divine Smite. This one over here. Now this is something that's added to separately, has to be added to each weapon. So, see, it is not a tidy macro, unfortunately. I've done the best I can with it. It's quite long-winded because it's the only way I can do it. But effectively, what it does is item macro, after damage roll. The macro itself will detect if someone is undead or not, or fiend, and will update the damage on that based on that. So if you do this, who he hits, so he hits. Now, if we click damage, you see it gets dialog box, asks you, do you want to, and tells you straight off what slots you got available. So let's go, yeah, I want to make it 3. So a drowner is an undead creature. So obviously, so it's 2d8, 3d8, 4d8, so it should roll 5d8 radiant damage. And you can see there, it's rolled 5d8 radiant. The other thing you'll notice is, which something I can't quite figure out properly, is the fact that it rolls 2 separate damage types. So what this would mean, it is likely to trigger concentration checks twice. A little bit annoying, but it's the best I can do with it until I can figure anything else out. But it works. It automatically recognizes if they're undead or not. I can do that, show you that by quickly doing it on her. So she is not undead. Let's go just for a level 1 slot. And you can see it's 2d8 because she's not undead. Simple as that. So I think it's a really cool effect. It works, it gives you the options to see straight off the bat, and you can pick it up from there. The last one I wanted to show for Start Might is Magic Weapon. So Magic Weapon you can cast on someone and they use it on himself. So again, it's a quite straightforward effect. It's a Details tab, select creature, it's an item macro, before effects, utility, everything else can stay as it is, and then it's a Magic Weapon macro here because it's an item macro. One thing to know about this, and unfortunately something I can't quite figure out because I'm still learning, it won't revert the weapon. I can update it, but I can't get it to automatically revert it. But you'll see what I mean. So if we click on here, so cast Magic Weapon, so you get this dialog box. It searches through your weapon list to ask you what weapon you want to use it on. So I'm going to go for the axe. Now if I go to this axe, it is now tagged as magical. It now has a +1 attack roll and +1 damage, which it never had that before. So it will now trigger the fact that these effects are there, and they will last for the effects now. Unfortunately, like I said, it doesn't. If I remove the concentration, the item itself still remains updated. Something that I can't quite figure out how to remove, but you got this nice little button, click revert, and it will remove the effect for you. Yeah, so I go back to his axe now, you can see it's no longer magical, no bonuses. All back to normal. So that's that. Quite straightforward. Now Ādlith. Ādlith is a circle of the Shepherd Druid. So she has two features I want to show you. First one is the Spirit Totem, and second one is a spell. So Spirit Totem is an effect, if you're not sure what this is, it allows the Druid to bring through 3 different types of creatures. Spirits are incorporeal, can't be anything, but they allow you to grant buffs. So what I've done with this is the macro attached with the item will summon in the spirit itself, and it will update certain features or a feature on them. So I'm going to show you the bear. So first of all, you need to make sure that you have something called a bear totem. Otherwise, it won't recognize it. So what I need to do now is go to Spirit Totem. Let's see. She now gets an option, what one she wants to use. So I'm going to go bear. Place it right there. The bear totem is now summoned, and on the bear there's this usage button. I click this, and everyone now gets temporary hit points. Now, on the actual item itself, this is left blank. The macro will update this. So the temporary hit points given is 5 times your druid level. Every time this bear totem is summoned, this will change. This effect will update, and as the caster's level increase in druid, that will also update as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, the only real thing I did there was I made it kind of include some extra stuff. You can see that I've set it so that the totem doesn't get the bonuses or anything like that. The other thing is Healing Spirit. It's very similar. Let's not cast it just yet. So let me show you it first of all. So Healing Spirit details. So it is target itself, 60. Most of this doesn't particularly matter. It's just for the macro. Macro is item effect, and nothing on here. And similar to the bear one, you need to make sure you have a token called Healing Spirit. So that she has to be called all that, and it has an effect on here. Probably done this with a bear one, but this has the ability to cast on here, and this has all the targeting stuff. So if I remove this 2d6, it will update that automatically, and again it will do similar thing. Every time this token is summoned to the map, it will pick up what spell level has been used and adjust the formula accordingly. but this is all set. So I've set it as 2 foot radius. The reason being, when the feature is used, it's when a creature starts its turn or moves in there. So as the caster literally just has to click on the token, click the button, and it will cast it, and it will only apply to basically the token in the square. That's how I set it. So let me show that in action. Zoom it. Pop it there. So we now go into this Healing Spirit. You can see it's got 6 uses, and that's because it's based off her wisdom modifier. So it's 1 plus your wisdom modifier, number of charges it can number times. On here, that could be used. And then if I go to the feature itself, it's 1d6 because it was the first level spell we used. And all I need to do is say add list moves into it, or next to it you can click on the token and just go Healing Spirit. Let's consume, heal, and you can see here she is healed by 3, which is the rule. That's that. Nice and easy. Very straightforward, very simple. Other thing I wanted to show you, last thing really that I've got is Dreadstrike for her items. So if you don't know what this is, for a Fey Wanderer Druid, you get the ability to apply 1d4 psychic damage once per round per creature you hit. So what I've done is I have made a little macro to be applied. So the way, I'll just show you the way it works is it searches the target to find out if the target has the effect Dreadful Strike on there. If it doesn't have that effect on there, it will just roll normally and won't do anything. If it doesn't have the effect, it will do an extra 1d4 damage. So let me show you how that works. And the item itself, so I should show you that, has an effect that is applied on a hit called Dreadful Strike. So let's target him. Hopefully she hits. Yeah, she hits. So if I do damage to him, you'll see he's now got that. It does d4 psychic damage. Now that's her first shot. If she decides to shoot him again, hits again, rolls, you'll see this time no psychic damage because the effect's there. The effect is set to expire after 1 turn, so if I end her turn, you can see the effect now disappears. So the effect will only be there for basically the user's turn. Or if they have like a what am I thinking of? If it's done as part of reaction, that would also trigger it, obviously. But yeah, that's it. Those are the quick macros I've done recently. You can browse my GitHub by going to here. Got a few things in there. Like, see, I got some spells I've done a bit of work on. Some class options I've done a little bit of work on. A magic item for Curse of Strahd, and a couple of monster abilities that I've basically done. But yeah, this is not extensive, this is not impressive, this is just something I'm building up and trying to work, and I wanted to show you all how those macros worked. Anyway, that's the video. Thanks for watching. Hopefully it wasn't too long and boring for you, and you found some of this useful and interesting. Please like, subscribe, comment. I love getting comments, I love responding to them. I do have a Discord as well, if you want to join that and contact me there and stuff, and I look forward to hearing from you all from the community. Thanks a lot for watching.